Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm Chris, this is the Salty Trip channel, and I wish I had better news for you. Um, I'm using the Motorcraft synthetic blend that Ford recommends for this truck, the 5W30, and I'm having lifter failure. I can't believe this is actually happening to me. I don't have that many miles on the truck, but it's taking a crap. We'll talk more about that in just a second. All right, guys. So that first statement was a little bit of a fib because you would not believe how many people are rooting for these 7.3 liters to fail. Down in the comment section and stuff like that, I did a previous video doing an oil change with the Motorcraft synthetic blend, and so many people were hating on it. I just made the video putting out the information saying that this is what Ford recommends. This is the best way to secure your warranty if they ever question you, what are you putting in your engine? And you can't argue with if you use what they are telling you to use. Is this the best motor oil that you could be using? Maybe, maybe not, but we're going to talk about what I'm going to use from now on and why I'm going to use it. We'll get to that. And we'll go over filling this thing up and talk about all the hate we've been getting. I'm going to start putting in this Mobil 1 5W30 fully synthetic motor oil in my truck. And you're saying, well, you did a video about this one. I was just saying this is what Ford recommends. And just made a whole video about what the recommendations were and specifications for that. And if you remember that previous video, Ford has to meet this WSS M2C961-A1 standard to meet the Ford recommendations. And well, does Mobil 1 synthetic oil meet that recommendation? If you look here on the back, it's right there. It says Ford WSS M2C961-A1. So it meets that standard that Ford recommends. They say they want you to use this, but if you can't access this, you need something else that has that standard. So Mobil 1 5W30 meets that standard. Honestly, I think it probably exceeds it because this is a full synthetic. I've seen, lots and lots of information out there about the benefits of full synthetic over semi-synthetic, longer lasting, better viscosity, all that jazz. The reason why I'm choosing to do the Mobil 1 over the Ford recommendation is because I tow a lot. I have a boat, a charter business, and I tow the boat all the time. And I got a 12,000 pound fifth wheel that we towed around all the time too. So that's a lot of extra duty on this 7.3 liter Godzilla motor. So we are going to do an oil change on this thing, and we're going to give you an update on the Fumoto valve that I installed in here. And if you don't know what that is, stick around and you're going to find out. It's going to make things changing oil so much easier and cleaner. It makes things just a lot easier, especially like when we're out camping like this. I honestly don't really trust other people to change my oil. I've been to those oil change places and stuff. I've known people that have worked there, and it's kind of like going to a restaurant where you've known somebody that's worked there that's kind of told you some of the behind the scenes things, so it makes you not want to go to that restaurant anymore. I feel the same way about some of those oil change places. So I do all my oil changes, and we're here kind of out in the sticks. So if you want to see that, stick around and we'll get to it. What are we going to need for this oil change? We need 8 quarts of oil for this big motor. We need the oil filter, which I'm going to still use the Motorcraft oil filter. I haven't seen any research saying that these things are not quality, so I'm going to keep using those. That's the Ford recommendation. And of course, I got the wrench that goes right on top of that. You need a 3/8 drive, and I also have this for the Fumoto valve to drain the oil. Of course, a funnel to fill, and a couple of jugs to drain into. And we are going to use this when we take off the filter, and a couple of rags to wipe up. So other than that, that should be all we should need to change out this oil in kind of a remote area, and even just at home in your garage, it'll make things easier. So you'll see. Just stick around, check it out, and we'll get down there. All right, guys, so we're down here, and this is the Fumoto valve that I was telling you about. It just replaced your drain plug, and it It's just a little valve that you can open and close to drain your oil so you don't have to put a plug in there. And it's very helpful not make a mess, because when you pull that plug out, what does it do? It just pours out and spills all over the place. So you have to have a big pit, and you always wind up having to move it so that, you know, it fills, and it just, sometimes it squirts out too far and just spills everywhere. So anyway, this helps avoid that. And especially when you're doing a remote oil change like I am, it's pretty easy to do. So all you have to do is you can order this little hose with a adapter on here that just goes, slaps right on top of the Fumoto valve, and just put it inside the jug like that. And there's this little clip comes on it just to secure it, to make sure that it doesn't accidentally open. And so we'll just lay that on the ground right there. So all you have to do is push this little lever up, and you open the valve, and it drains into this 1 gallon jug. So we'll let that fill up, and this holds 8 quarts, so that's about 2 gallons. All right, as this gets full, all I have to do is just close this valve off, and we'll switch it over to the other one. Let that drain out a little bit. Bring in the other one, and start filling that one. Piece of cake. And I will link these into the description area below. And, you know, I got a lot of hate on the last one about, oh man, if you're off-roading and all this mess, it's gonna you know, break off and drain off your oil. It's got to hit this axle, this cross member bar, before anything comes into contact with this. And it's still pretty strong. It's not like it's plastic or anything. It's metal. And the valve's over here. So, and it's got a little safety pin to knock it. So it's almost impossible to open it up without doing it by hand. So we're going to finish filling this out, and I'll show you how I swap out this filter without making a mess. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about this whole shenanigans at the end. All right, so we're all done draining, so just got to close this valve, put this little keeper back on, pull this hose out and off. It just pops right off, cap that up, and no mess, not even a drop. All right, guys, and to change out this filter, you know, we got our wrench that goes right on there, but because we don't have a drain pan here, we just use a plastic bag. We fit up around there. We put this over it and then crank it loose. You just need to loosen that up with the wrench, and then you can do it by hand. And I have a little rag here just to get any little excess. Let's see, that'll just pour right into the bag and keeps it contained. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this oil, lube up that O-ring, and then put the new one on. And you just want to snug it down about hand tight. Voila. Just a tiny little bit of oil on my hand. That's it. No mess. These off of Amazon, you can buy the 5 quart, and then you can get like 6 quarts in a box. And they're almost the same price for both of these, for the 6 quarts. I'll leave those in the description area below too. And you could just use 3 of these, save 3 for later for your next oil change. And then, because if you buy in the 5 quart here, it's always cheaper than the single quarts. So even 2 of these is cheaper than I'm at 8 of these. So just think about that when you're going to buy it. Get 1 of these and a 6-pack, and you're going to save yourself a few bucks. All right, guys. So how simple was that? Here's all my mess right here, all contained. Super easy to get rid of. And like I said, this is super handy for like when you're out on the go, but still, you know, super easy for like if you're at home. Less mess to clean up. You don't have to carry a big pan or whatever. You just get some jugs from like Publix for $1 a piece, and you know, you drink the water, or whatever you want to do with it, and you got 2 jugs that'll take care of the oil, we'll just go drop them off at the local auto parts store. You know, I don't know how much simpler it can get, and making the oil changes easier definitely has helped with the Fumoto valve. And we'll go over filling this thing up and talk about all the hate we've been getting. All right, your oil fill on the 7.3 liter Godzilla is going to be right here on the driver's side. Let's take this cap off, get a funnel, and let's put 8 quarts in. Don't forget to put your cap back on. All right, and before you go and check your oil level to make sure you have the right amount, if you didn't pre-fill your oil filter, just turn the engine over, let it run for a couple minutes, and then check it, because you got to fill up that oil filter to get an accurate reading. And the dipstick's over here on the passenger side to check it, and it's got a little mark that high and low. You want it right in the middle. That looks perfect. Right there in the middle. All right, guys. Haters are gonna hate. I don't know where all the hate comes from. And all the stories, like, you know, I know it is fact that they have had a few motors with some lifter problems, but it seems to have subsided. I haven't heard, you know, have you guys heard of like the massive, have you dealt with it? Has it been a problem for you? You know, we're going 12,000 miles here. We got a lot left to go. So, you know, if there is some lifter failures, follow along and you'll find out. But these people in the comment section below are always, there's probably somebody typing right now about how this engine's going to blow up at 30,000 miles. And it's going to happen. There's people who are going to hate, and they're just either going to be either Diesel Boy fans or whatever, or Chevy fans or Dodge or whatever. I have no loyalty to any particular brand. I just go with what works and what I like. Got what I need at the time. That's what I go with. This was the vehicle that could suit my needs. We have a 12,000 pound fifth wheel that we got to tow around. We got to tow a boat all the time, which you can do with an F-150, but we really need it to be able to do both duties. And I have a whole nother video about how it pulls this fifth wheel, and I'll link that in the description there below if you're interested, with the 7.3 liter Godzilla pulling 12,000 pounds. You can go back and check that out. But we're going to talk about the oil and why I went with this. I went with the Mobile One because of, like I said, the towing and the heavy load that I'm putting on this thing. Motorcraft probably would be just fine. It has the qualifications that Ford's looking for, so they can't argue that I'm not using something that doesn't meet their standards. So we're going to keep using this Mobile One for the life of this truck probably. I don't want to keep switching it up or anything like that. I want to keep the same one, and probably I'll change the oil about every 5,000 miles or so because of all the extra towing and stuff like that. If you want to follow all our adventures, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and we do all kinds of trucks, travel, towing, RV life videos. So, you know, if you're into that kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and there'll be more to come, and we'll update you as we go. If this thing blows up, you guys will be the first to know, because I'll post it and let you hear all about it. And I'm sure it'll satisfy some people, but so far so good. The 7.3 liter Godzilla is killing it. Like I said, thanks for coming along, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.